Crafter, otherwise known as Meditative Crafter on Instagram and Ravelry. I am sick right now, so that's why I'm so nasally. Sinus and congestion. Um, yeah. So it's we wanted to get our monthly episode out, even though I'm not feeling well.
Yeah, so it might be a little weird
Off.
today, but and maybe short to this month, but we wanted to at least get something out just to kind of make sure we're doing that. So,
Yeah.
but oops, I accidentally just bumped the thing. So sorry about that.
Seriously, man. Okay. So our first is hot off the needles, and boy, do I have some. Uh, before I got sick, which was the 19th of this month. Um, I finished my shrug where this rock is with the donut on top was where it was last, and then like I knitted from there up, and then I don't know if I did this right or not, but I tried it on, but I'm too sick to do it today. Um, to do the what is it there? Seam. Um, I'm still learning. Um, if
I mean, it may not have been
it's
the
for
exact
me,
seam that it
it's
called
for
for, but it
me.
still
I
works.
probably, by the looks of it, if I went, if I put it inside out,
Oh yeah.
yeah, because see, this is the outside,
Mm-hmm.
that's the inside, so I did backwards. But that's okay. I mean, I'm alright with that. It's a design element. And just noticing this side's coming apart, so I didn't really do that good. Um,
Oopsies.
that's alright.
You can try again. Fix it later.
It's one of those days. Oh my goodness. I'll fix it later because I got plenty of leftover to redo it. So there's that, and that was the simple summer shrug by I think first name was Michelle.
We're also not as prepared this month
No,
as we
we're not.
usually are, so we apologize for that.
Yeah,
We'll put it. We'll make sure to try to post all the things in the description as well, though. So
yeah. I will definitely put the patterns and who they're by. So, next off my needles is with socks. Where this gumdrop is where I was on this sock last time. I don't remember if I had this other one done yet or not. Um, maybe I did, maybe I did. I don't know. But this colorway is called "This Is Halloween" by I think it's Bad Girl Studios yarn or something like that. Again, we'll link
mm-hmm.
the Etsy of their shop down below because I don't remember. Next, hot off the needles, is these socks, nice and stripy and bright. This is Felici by Nick of Nitpicks in the current mood colorway. So, and these socks are for me. The other ones are for me. And this I just finished today. Ta-da! Rainbow socks. Oh, I love them. They are so pretty. So very pretty.
Oh, so pretty.
Oh, so
Oh,
pretty.
so pretty. So pretty.
So, these are, again, Felici. The colorway is rainbow, as you could tell. And those are my hot off the needles for this month.
I didn't have any hot off the needles. I haven't been knitting as often as I've mentioned before. But I do have some other stuff to talk about. I guess I can put that in here. Just last week or two, I finally got my website online. So you can go to darkeraproductions.com. We'll also post this down in the description as well. But there's not really a whole lot up there yet, but it's where I'm going to be posting my webcomics and potentially some web novels that I'm also thinking of doing. I'm actually, one of them, my first one, Dark Era, that's what it's all based around. I'm thinking of trying to do it as both a comic and a more traditional novel at the same time, and just kind of see how that goes. I don't know, it's an experiment I'm doing. It's a little weird, and I don't know if it's ever been done before, but I don't know. It just sounded like an interesting thing to play around with, so I'm gonna try to do that. There may not be a whole lot up there for the next month or two. I'm still kind of figuring out exactly how I want to do it, but I wanted to get my site up and kind of out there, and just kind of so people know it's coming, and right. People can get it bookmarked or whatever you want to do with that kind of stuff. So I'll be putting that out there. I'll also eventually have probably some way of signing up so you can know when I post. Yeah, for notifications for when I post new issues or whatever the heck you want to call it, chapters. I don't know.
Learning as you go.
So, but then I will probably be posting them on other sites as well. I don't know all the details of that just yet, so I'm not going to necessarily mention all of that just yet, but I'll let you know that more when I move forward and as we get going. I also have some other ideas of things I want to potentially put on that site as well, potentially a blog of sorts, and maybe my own vlog or something for some of my own interests and things like that, so that are kind of be separate from this but still kind of semi-related. So
probably more
focused on drawing, more focused on movies and games and things like that are more in my expertise. Realm. My not my expertise, I guess, is not my realm. Yeah, where she doesn't get into that as much as I do, so that's just something.
We went through that last episode.
Yeah, so.
How was the movie? It was okay.
So things like that, that I'll probably start my own version of stuff that's just me, and just she's gonna potentially be starting some of her own stuff that's just her.
But it'll be on this.
That will be more on this because it's still more crafting related. So.
Yep. I mean, we're still going to podcast together as we are now. It's just for addition.
Yep, we're going to be adding some of our own stuff. We're trying to take it slow, so we wanted to do this group podcast. Now that we've been doing this for this is the sixth episode now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Sorry. I said 7.
No, don't. Oh, jeez. Yes, that is a Friends reference, but we won't go any further for that one.
Oh, my words. Well, everything's got to be a Friends reference, so.
Oh yeah, I did. Anyway. Is that it? Or did you have anything added that not that episode of Friends?
I think that was it for me. So yeah, just Dark Era Productions is the website. I'll be posting more on it eventually, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you want to check it out, go there, bookmark it, whatever, and I'll figure out a way of notifying you guys again.
Yep.
So, all right.
All right.
Sounds good.
Now on to whips. Here's my crafting blanket. It's getting bigger.
It's looking good.
Yep. And
a couple more colors, or one more color, or
there's more than that. There's the turtle where I was last time. The turtle donut, as I call it. But that's probably totally wrong, but that's what I call it. And from Simply Serving. And this is the lemon meringue. What are you gabbling on about?
I was wondering if it's a reference to Ring World, because it's like the ring is on or Discworld rather, I guess, but I guess that's a little different. But it's a disc on top of a turtle or on top of elephants on top of a turtle or something like that. I don't remember now. It's been a while. Anyways, go ahead.
Alrighty. So, this is the lemon meringue colorway. In Happy Meal, I will show the next 2 skeins that will be added. I'm trying to think. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm halfway done. I got 2 skeins, so that'll make it up to 12. Then I'll have 8 skeins after that, and then they'll be done. So there's still a ways to go for it, because I want it, long.
Yeah.
And squishy and, snuggle up too.
So,
snuggly. So,
I don't know what that is.
Yes. That is my colorful blanket. Okay, ready to show?
Yes.
Okay.
So like I said, I haven't been knitting as much, so I don't really know. I think I only got a few rows done this month. She's light years ahead of me, but
wow.
Oh my gosh, mine's all tangled. Mine's like twisted in weird ways.
Are you like in the middle of a row?
Yeah.
Oh boy. That's because you work on it while we're podcasting. So you can get a little bit more done on it.
80% of my work lately has been during the podcast.
Being sneaky. No.
Go ahead. I'll show yours while I try to.
So, here's my
angle with this.
Looking through the hole here. I am. I'm looking through the hole. I can see you. I can see you. So, I am on, what did I say, section 5? Am I on section 5?
I think so.
I think so. Because this is 1. This is 2. 3. 4. Yeah, I'm on section 5. Maybe I'm on section 6.
You might be on 6 already. I don't know.
I'm on the last section.
Oh, then I think it's 6. I think there's 6 sections.
Well, I had to put in the 54 stitch markers, which I'm using light bulbs because they were. Wow. We podcast later in the evening, and this is what you get. So enjoy. Now I'm up to 902 stitches. Yeah. The height, I think it goes like to 946 or something like that. So, I haven't worked on it in the past week and a half because I haven't been feeling good. But there's mine. So, alright, are you ready to show yours?
Yes.
Do you need assistance?
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
It gets it good enough. I'm in the middle of a row, so it's a little weird, but... So this is mine again. Like I said, I've only done a handful of rows since the last podcast. But I think I ended up doing my because in section 1, 2, 3 he says to like you can add a fourth or a fourth contrast color if you want, just for like an extra something. So I did that, I think, so it's still a gray. I don't know if you can see this very well. It's still a gray, but it has like some
Right
little
there.
speckles of other colors there.
Yeah, you can see.
So it's still like 80% gray, but it has like a little pops of blue and little pops of gold or something and green. Mm-hmm. Even like a purple or a reddish color somewhere, orange or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I just decided to add that as my fourth contrast colors because it's similar but adds a little something else to it.
And we got like the yarns in a kit from Penelope.
I'm assuming that's what it is.
Penelope and
Penelope and West, or
and West maybe.
Yeah.
It's from Amsterdam.
Yeah, well, it's Stephen West.
Stephen West. Yeah, Stephen and Penelope. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is. We each got a kit. But for mine, the pop of color here.
She did like a really bright.
Really bright because I love bright.
Because most of her colors are pretty neutral.
Yeah.
And kind of desaturated, so she wanted to get like a pop of that brightness in there.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Look at me, desaturated, talking all artsy now.
What exactly that was yet. I don't know. It's in here somewhere. It's... I forgot what the yarn is. It's been a while. But I plan to use it again for another pop before pop. You know, like
Goes the Weasel?
Pop Goes the Weasel, yeah. Before I finish this shawl. So those are the only whips going on right now for us. On to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Next is my charity knitting. So I have done, because of being sick for almost 2 weeks, lots of dishcloths, 14, and they're all on my Instagram, Meditative Crafter. So those will be donated to the Nurses for Newborns. And I did one baby blanket.
Oh, I think this is the one that came out a little bit short by accident.
This one came out short by accident, but babies are different sizes. And
I'm sure
also there's little kids that just like to take a blanket like this size around.
Yeah, like
just
a security
snuggle
blanket
with.
And stuff.
So it'll be good for Nurses for Newborns. And my newest addition is charity newborn hats. Aren't they cute? Ooh.
Itty bitty.
Itty bitty. And there's this one. Aren't they cute? Oh my goodness, they're so teeny tiny.
And these are just using like Karen or?
This one was I don't know if it was a Red Heart gumdrop type. But this one was a Karen. It wasn't a Karen 1 pound. It's the Karen 3/4 pound or something that I use for this one. Both acrylic. So very easy. All my charity is washable. So, because...
Well, yeah, I mean, because most charities are going to ask for anything that's easily washable because most people that they're giving it to don't really have access to much of anything other than basic things to do their laundry and stuff like that. So it needs to be very easily washable. So acrylic things like that are like the most recommended just because they're fine to wash. And then I had another place I was going with that, and then I forgot what I was going to say.
And I didn't say anything this time.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that gave me a chance to get what I'm working on. So this is charity baby blanket number 4 for this year. And this is another dishcloth that's about half done. And this is another newborn hat that all I gotta do is the crown, and then it decreases, and then this one will be done. So this one you'll see next podcast. All these 3 projects here you'll see next podcast because definitely they will be done. So that's my charity knitting for this month. Now on to
Happy Mail.
You didn't seem so enthused.
Happy Mail.
Okay.
I like Happy Mail.
Alright. We
So,
love Happy Mail.
My Happy Mail is not knitting related to this month, but I did get yarn, but I forgot to bring it in. Aw.
Do you want me to...
Maybe I'll go grab it afterwards or something.
You'll grab it while I'm...
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So, but I do have several more books I've gotten on learning how to draw and paint, and digital painting, I guess, primarily. So one of them is just how to draw. But this was one that was really recommended to me by several people on Discord and other things. It explains perspective and line drawing and things like that really well, and how all that kind of stuff works. Especially for complicated figures. Like, okay, drawing like a cube in perspective is relatively simple once you understand what that means. But drawing
a cube?
A cube, like a square cube.
Oh, like a Rubik's Cube?
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah. But like a cube is just like a dice.
Okay.
Drawing that in perspective is pretty simple once you understand the basics of that. It's like, okay, do this, do that, there you go, now you can do that. But drawing like a car or like a military vehicle or spaceship or something like that in perspective starts becoming much more complicated because there's a whole bunch of different pieces to it. Drawing buildings and large city structures or things like that become more complicated because there's a lot to it. So that's kind of what this book starts focusing on, is figuring out how to get into that stuff. Another thing it has, which is really cool, is it has YouTube videos that you can like link to.
Over. There you go.
That you can link to by taking a picture of it from your phone or something like that. So that way, like a lot of the different things have uh, a video that you can also watch to kind of give an extra level of instruction to it. So
Cool.
um, then this one is another one that was recommended on like Discord and other and Twitch and other places I've been going for watching artists and tutorials and things like that. Is called Figure Drawing by Michael Hampton. There's nothing on here because a couple of my figure drawing books have the front is probably not safe to show on YouTube, but so there's just another. It's just about drawing figures and poses and gestures and things like that, and line drawing. So it was just one of the ones that was recommended for that because that's kind of something I need to do for that is necessary for understanding comics and things. Cause that's one of the things I want to really do is comics, and then like character design and stuff. So obviously figures is what I need to do. And then because I'm getting into digital and Photoshop is pretty much the standard for digital art of any kind. There's a couple other apps that are coming out, like there's Clip Studio Paint, which is another big one that people use. And then there's a couple on the iPad, like Procreate and Infinite Painter and stuff that work really well. But Photoshop is still kind of the main go-to for the most part. So I got a couple of books on digital painting in Photoshop. So this is just Beginner's Guide to Digital Painting on Photoshop by what is it? 3D Total Publishing. All three of these are by 3D Total Publishing. And these were the company was recommended to me, but not necessarily the specific books. And so I just grabbed a couple of books by them that looked interesting. And then this is Digital Painting in Photoshop, Industry Techniques for Beginners. So it's just another beginner book of doing different types of paintings on Photoshop. I wanted to get both because they kind of cover things in a slightly different manner. Because they're the same company, I think, but they're different authors, I guess. And then this one is Digital Painting in Photoshop, but it's specifically geared around character development. So painting characters. And so I just wanted to get all those just to kind of increase my library of art lessons and things like that, because it's kind of another big thing I've been trying to get into, as I've been mentioning the last couple of months. So yeah. I think that's it for me.
Okay.
That's all my books. She'll go. I'm going to head out. I'm going to go grab my yarn that I forgot, and then I'll talk about that.
No worries. He's coming back.
Yep, I'll be right back in just a moment.
Okay. So, as I mentioned, I got 2 skeins for my crafting blanket to add from Yarn Cafe Creations, because the blanket is made all from her yarn. This is called Jelly Wreath, 100% superwash merino wool. It's in her mocha worsted weight, 218 yards per 100 grams. It's really pretty. I can't wait to add that in. And also, I got this one called Gumdrop Nugget. Nougat. Nugget. Sorry. I have trouble pronouncing things. And this is, again, 100% superwash merino wool. And her mocha worsted weight, 218 yards per 100 grams. So I can't wait to put that in as well. I think I'm going to put this one in first, because this one I think is a bit darker, because the lemon meringue is on the light side. So I think this one's going to go after the lemon meringue, and then this one will go after this one. I think that'll be alright. It has similar colors, but this one's lighter and it is different. Because this one also has like that right there in it. I don't think this one does. No,
Nope,
this
here
one
comes our
has
cat.
more of a purple. Oh, we got a kitty cat. We got Ian Bells.
Hey.
Okay.
You want to come
so
say hi?
I participated in a knit-along that I'm participating
Say
in
hi.
this year.
All right.
They do it's on Silver's Dreamland podcast. I had to think a moment.
Come on.
So last year, from entering my projects for their knit-along or knit-alongs,
Sorry, that's a little loud.
I won a $20 gift certificate, and I was able to choose knit picks for that gift certificate to be sent to me. So I spent more than the $20, but this is what it went towards. So I got this self-striping fleechy in the Windbreaker colorway. And I think my mom would like these. If you don't, let me know, Mom. They will be the tube socks. So they'll be a pair. And then I might be able to make a short pair for me afterward. I'm not sure. Most likely. Because I don't use that much. I also got, these were together, like, as a set. It's the knit picks, like, where you can tell, like, what your needle size is. This is the gauge, I think. This is the wraps per inch one. This is the Kitchener because I do cuff down on my socks, so I'm always using the Kitchener to close up the toe. So this will be used like probably one of the most things used. And then this one is the wrap and turn. I've had to do that. And then this one is make one right and make one left. I've had to do that. These come in handy.
Little cheat sheet things.
Yeah, they're like cheat sheet things. Had to say that slow because whoa.
Almost come out the wrong word.
Yeah, we don't want that. So these came as like this whole set. So I get that. And last but not least, from the Knit Picks purchases, I got this book. Casual Weekend Knits, 25 Go Anywhere projects. And I've looked through here, and there's quite a few projects that I will knit up for sure.
And they all look like they're relatively simple.
Yeah, like this cabled hat here, and these mittens. Yeah, those are mittens. Those are relatively simple.
Yeah, like there's like a handful of steps that you don't have to do, so that it's not like all sorts of weird, crazy things. Like, as much as I sometimes love doing those, and that's why we love Stephen West, because he does a lot of weird, crazy things. But
right,
that's what he's good at, and that's why he's amazing. But at the same time, you need your share of like very basic things. It's something that looks nice, but doesn't do anything too major when you don't feel like thinking about what you're knitting on very much. You just want something kind of simple and easy.
Like this asymmetrical shawl.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I'll definitely be making that because
Like it's more than just basic stuff, so that way
The
otherwise
techniques used for this one is a yarn over, which I know how to do, a knit front back, purl front back, and a knit two together. So I can definitely make this shawl.
And so it has things that warrant having a pattern, but they're simple enough that you don't have to like spend too much time concentrating and thinking and whatnot. So.
And then there's this bias scarf. I like that too. That looks to me like a stash buster right there. I'm wondering. It's a medium weight. So yeah.
I mean, it's a scarf though, so
and
it doesn't need to be.
And it's in garter stitch. You knit every row. It says.
Yeah,
the techniques used is knit front back and knit two together. So that is, so definite. So I get that. So I can't wait to knit some projects out of there. Then,
of course,
Bags for Awesome Granny.
Did it again.
Ta-da!
That's Valentine's gnomes.
Those gnomes, are they so adorbs? Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to use this bag next month, which is like day after tomorrow. Oh, that makes me just so happy. Anyway, and that is it, right? That's it for now, because this is...
We'll do that in a minute, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But I have mine here. I went there for, so... was it last month we showed the Honeycrisp fade thing that we got for you?
Well, you've been working on it, yeah.
No, the fading kit that we got for you. That is the Honeycrisp kit.
I'm pretty sure we showed it.
Okay, well, because we got her, and I think we showed it last week or last month.
Last month, yeah.
We got a Honeycrisp fading.
Yes, we did show it.
Fading kit. Now I almost said the wrong word. From Yarn Cafe Creations, and I think you were gonna use that for the fading point.
Yes.
And then I decided to go ahead and grab this one from Yarn Cafe Creation, Earthly or something like that is what it was called. And so yeah, a lot of more earthly greens and kind of blues and grays and stuff. A little more up my alley.
Yeah.
To use for my version of the fading point. Then I got this to balance out some other yarn I have somewhere that I'm going to be putting on my painted bricks shawl. So this is also by Yarn Cafe Creations. This one's called Tangerine and Mascara. So I just thought these were kind of nice colors that would match well. Wanted a bright something to pop, and then just something kind of a little more neutral.
Well, isn't this your main color, the tangerine?
And so I wanted that to be kind of a pop, a brighter color, because I don't usually do a lot of brighter stuff, so I thought I would do that for this one. And then I wanted, a little more like just kind of neutral for one of the contrast colors. I thought that would go well, because most of the other ones are kind of in that neutral. Like there's one that's a blue, like a darker blue, and then like kind of like a forest green. I believe, and I don't remember if there was what else there was, but
I don't remember.
So, but yeah, I decided to get those to finish off what I needed, because I was trying to do it all in stash, but I didn't have quite enough in stash to.
And we didn't have the right colors.
Yeah, like nothing went well together to make that whole thing. So like
we just didn't want to use those for this project. These projects.
But yeah, so that was, I ended up getting those. Yarn Cafe Creations, she's one of our favorites. So
yep, one of our favorite yarn dyers.
Yep. I think that's it.
Okie doke. one of my newest sweatshirts is whatever. I'm on fibro time.
12, 8, 7, 3, 5, 1. Huh? Oh.
And also, meh.
Meh.
Okay.
So, now on to cooking, because that's what we were originally going to do in
Yes.
this segment, but we kind of forgot about those other things.
So, we recently got this cookbook. And we have already made how many recipes?
Like 4 or 5?
Yeah, we've made this one right here.
The salmon.
The oven roasted maple mustard salmon.
That was one of my favorites. She's not a big salmon eater, so she was just kind of okay for her, but that was probably one of my favorites out of all the ones we've tried, because I love salmon.
Now this one next.
Oh, that's her favorite.
This one right here. The wild mushroom risotto. Oh my gosh, that's so good. It is more time consuming. It took about 40 minutes or so to make, but it's mostly like the stirring part, which he did.
Yeah, it's actually very easy. It's time consuming because you got to let it kind of do its thing, and then you keep stirring and stirring and stirring and stirring, and then you pour a little more of the stock in or whatever, and then stir and stir and stir and stir, and you just keep doing that over and over again but you don't want to do it too fast or too much too fast, so you have to kind of take your time with it, but it's still very easy to actually do.
And another recipe we made is spaghetti alla carbonara.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
Right here. We made that as well. So, I think for me, because I've been having like a cheese reaction, I think that's why for me
Yeah.
it was just, for me it was too much. But I mean, if we made it when we make it again, like for me, we won't add as much of that.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably try to find a way of toning it down, put a little bit less cheese in it, and then I can just add extra in it.
Like, you could put the cheese that it originally, to make in. But instead, like at the end where you put the remaining of the cheese, instead, I'll see where it is for me before doing that, and then maybe put a little bit less on my portion.
Yeah. You can do something like that.
Instead of putting it all, on the whole meal.
But
that might work out better. I think that's all that we've tried so far, but...
there was the Parmesan garlic pasta thing or whatever, wasn't there?
Really?
Isn't that on here?
Did we try that one?
Yeah, because it was just... that was like the first one we tried because it was so easy.
Was it in this one?
I thought so. Maybe it was in a different book. We tried a garlic parmesan thing, but maybe that was in a different book. I don't remember now.
It might have been in a different book. Maybe.
I could have sworn that was in this one.
I don't
know.
It might have been, might not been. I don't know.
Those are the ones that we remember for sure.
You want me to see if I can find it? What would it be? Pasta?
It'd be under pasta, but I don't know.
There's a fettuccine, linguine, penne, rigatoni, spiral. I don't think it was in this cookbook.
Yeah, maybe not.
So.
I don't know. It's basically just Parmesan butter and garlic and spaghetti.
Yeah. You would think it would be in this one because that's only like a few ingredients.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was in this one, but I don't know. Maybe I am mistaken. Maybe I am mistaken.
Yeah, maybe we are. That's alright.
But yeah, there's a lot more in here that we want to try because a lot of them look really good. It's gluten free.
Well, you did.
Oh, I did a variation of that. I used that as a guide, but I didn't have all the ingredients, so I just used that as a guide to make a set of ribs for myself.
Yeah, and instead I made...
She made this other dish that we made that she really likes.
Dish that I like. It's with the gluten-free...
rigatoni
pasta. Tuna fish. Sweet peas.
And Alfredo sauce.
And that is super good.
Yeah, she likes. I don't mind it, but it's not a favorite of mine, so I wanted something else. And then because she doesn't really care for barbecue that much usually, I wanted the ribs, and so I did that. And then I made on top of that, I made cheesy Brussels sprouts with bacon, or cheesy bacon Brussels sprouts and broccoli, I guess is what it is. So, cause I love Brussels sprouts. She doesn't really like Brussels sprouts, but I love Brussels sprouts.
I've tried them. I don't like them. Yeah, I don't think that.
And I wanted some bacon and some cheese in it, but I ended up cooking too much bacon. I didn't have enough Brussels sprouts to kind of balance it out, so I ended up just adding broccoli. That was kind of like a afterthought, but it came out really good. So.
But yeah, this is like so far so good. This is a really yummy, and we got this on Amazon.
Yep.
So.
So like we said, it's all gluten free, and most of these recipes there's only like it says 5 ingredients, and most of them don't take very long. And even when they do, they're still relatively simple.
It featured 15-minute recipes.
Yeah, so most of several of them are in that like just 15-minute range. They don't take very long to do.
Yep. So we highly recommend it.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna end it off with our hats off. I just want to warn you, it's still us. You might be frightened a little when we take our hats off, but it's still just us, so don't worry, okay? Everything's gonna be okay. So, we're gonna take our hats off. Hats off. We wanted to give a shout out to
Penhook and Needles.
Penhook and Needles. They talked about us a couple weeks ago or something in their podcast.
Last week.
Was it last week? I don't remember exactly when now.
Before.
Relatively recently. Time is all blurring together right now. But anyways.
It was a week or two ago.
They talked about us for a little bit, so we wanted to give them a shout out as well. I haven't really watched them a whole lot myself, but she watches them all the time.
I do.
So they're just another really good, if you want to go in more.
They're one of my favorite podcasts. Yeah. Well, when we got the shout out, you came over and wanted me to replay basically that part, and so we watched that together, which was really nice. The daughter Talia also has chronic illnesses, and so yeah, and her mom Marlisha dyes yarn. She's on Etsy. We'll link it below. I think it's Lady Fernico. So we'll link her Etsy down below, and hopefully that will send some traffic her way.
Yeah.
And I haven't yet got her yarn. However, I have my eye on her neon pink and her silver bells sparkle yarn, 2 yarns, because I want to make, yes and no, you don't look amused, but I can't help it. I'm more into the happy mail part for next month that I want. Yeah. So maybe next month I'll get that. That would be really nice. But I want to make this hat that is with slip stitches. So, like, I haven't decided whether the brim would be the silver bells sparkle or it'd be the neon pink for the brim, and then it has like the slip stitches part and stuff to it. And it's with fingering. So, hint, hint. Anywho. So, hopefully I can get some of that next month.
Yep.
That would be awesome. Because, I would definitely, you're not going to say yes or no, are you? It's just going to be a surprise whether it shows up or not.
That's how I roll.
Yeah. What I do, this is like how you do it, you know. Here's your tip. What you do. Pro tip is you get on Etsy. And then it has like the share button thing on there, I think, right? And then you share it. And they'll go through the text and then see it. Be like, oh, now I know exactly what to get. That's how you do it.
Yep, she shares a lot of Amazon, a lot of Etsy, a lot of other stuff.
Doesn't mean I get it every time, because I don't. But, or not right away, you know, but it gives you ideas of what I am interested in, what, you know, I would like.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then there was another...
The other podcaster is Silver Streamland Podcast, and they have mentioned us, that they watch us, and that her husband, that their husband, now is more interested in the crafting because he saw you craft, saw you knit. So yeah, he enjoyed that. So that made me happy to when they told me that. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep on knitting.
Yep.
As we will keep on knitting and crafting. I haven't done cross stitch or my diamond painting in a while. I thought about it, but I just haven't felt up to it. But I will get to it one of these days again.
Yep.
But as you see, I've been doing still a lot of knitting. So oh, also, like, I won, like, in the Silver Streamland podcast, they had their 100th episode recently. And so, like, I commented. And I think there was a couple other ones that had commented. And I won the prize that she's doing, that they're doing. And they are going to make me a pair of socks out of Desert Vista Dye Works yarn, which I haven't had before. And so I was able to pick the color, which when you see these, no one will be surprised because one of the colors is hot pink. One of the other colors is like a neon green. Yeah. And then there's like some colors in between. So I can't wait to wear those. But it'll be a while before I get them because Desert Vista Dye Works is one person. And so and they have a lot of orders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very, very popular. So I'm patient, so I just can't wait to get them. But I am very patient. Yeah. I know that they're coming. They will be coming, so.
Well, yeah, and I mean...
I don't know if I was supposed to say anything of that. Oops.
I don't think it matters that much.
But I do appreciate, the nail-alongs that I am able to participate in and everything.
Yeah.
It keeps me going.
Yep.
Yep. Because right now, they're doing a stripe-along, which that's what I do a lot of, especially with the baby, charity baby blankets. And now with the Felici self-striping socks. So all those counted. And also they're doing a nail-along where it's like a dream-along knit sort of thing where like if it's been in your queue a while and then you knit it up, that it'll count, and like depends on how long it's been in your queue, depends how many entries you get, because you can get like up to like 6 entries, I think, depending on, I think it's 5 or 6, depending on how long it's been in your queue, I think, is one of them. And then the other one is like how long it took you to knit. So like these self-striping socks, I knit these this month, and so they only took, a couple weeks, so I get 5 or 6 entries.
Cool.
Yep. And then I don't know this year if they're doing quarterly or not. I don't remember. But I think they do quarterly. They'll go through and random generate and then pick prize winners.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did last year. Towards the end of last year is how they did it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So, yep.
All right. Well,
it's really fun.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Yeah.
Yep.
Like I'm actually participating in
we could put our hats back on.
Yeah.
Because oh my gosh.
I'm actually participating in a. It's called Draw This in Your Style, on one of my Twitch streamers that I watch. I forget exactly how to say her name because it's kind of weird. I'll if you want, I can post it in the thing in the description down below. It's not quite as related, but it's still art, I guess. It's still craft, sort of, I guess. But
if they're interested, they can comment below.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to know, comment below, and I can go ahead and post it.
And if you have any questions, please comment below and we'll answer.
Yeah.
We read all the comments, answer all the comments right off.
But yeah, I actually just submitted my drawing yesterday for it, and it's basically just that anyone who watches it and can submit it, and then she just randomly picks someone, and I think they're giving away like a free printing of one of her pictures or something like that, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly what the prize was now off the top of my head, because there was like a couple other things that people were doing, and some of them are doing printings and some of them were doing something else, and I don't remember who was who now. I get it all mixed up in my head.
I forgot more Happy Meal.
Oh goodness gravy.
I did.
Well, go ahead real quick if you want. This was going to be the end of it, but she forgot something, so we'll
of course
do this
I
real
did,
quick.
because I do that. I tend to do that. I got this off from Amazon. It's a mood tracker planner.
Oh yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, like how to use your mood tracker planner. And then it's got to, like, this here. Like, for mine, like, I have exercise, cooking, and, I'm decreasing caffeine.
We both are trying
We
to.
both are trying. So this is keeping me on track of that because, like, right here I have exercise, cooking, and, like, that I've actually done, like, the amount per day of caffeine
Yeah, like we each have like a
goal.
goal that we're like every month we go down a little bit in caffeine, and so as long as she doesn't go above that goal for the month, then she'll check off that she was successful that day.
Yep.
So,
And it does that every single month. Like, next month, see, I'll be filling it in here again. But then down here, it'll be starting Monday, the 1st of February. Instead of 3 coffees, I'll be down to 2 coffees and 2 diet sodas of caffeine. And then, it goes from there, which I'll probably mention how it's going and stuff. One of the reasons why I'm decreasing my caffeine is to see if it actually has any effect or how much it affects my fibro.
Yeah, because there's some things that show that caffeine can increase fibro. It's a pseudoscience. So like fibro in general is sort of a pseudoscience in the sense that they know it's there, they know what it is, but they don't really know all the details about it. So they're still learning it. And so a lot of things are just kind of like guessing because of things that happen, and they're like, well, we think this might be connected, but we're not sure. And so that's kind of a lot of what fibromyalgia is. And that caffeine is just one of those ones that some people have shown that they've improved a little bit when they get rid of caffeine. And so we're just seeing if there's a connection for us or not. Well, for her. I'm kind of mostly just doing it to kind of be supportive and kind of help her with it. It probably doesn't hurt that I try to decrease my caffeine a little bit. It's something I've wanted to try too. So just for no real reason other than I just wanted to see how well I can still operate on no caffeine. But
by June we should be without caffeine at all.
Yeah, we're gonna be decaffeinated.
We'll be decaffeinated. Yeah. And the last thing that I got is this. It says shares favorite recipes. I had that
like custom made.
Custom from, I think they say their name in here.
I forget what the name of the place is.
Aaron Condren.
Yeah, I think it's a small personal business that he makes a lot of like journals and planners and books like that, and a lot of different supplies and utensils based around that stuff.
And it's got like the separators for appetizers, side dishes, entrees, desserts, and more recipes. And it's got where you put even where like it's gluten free and things in there. Directions and then notes. I haven't put anything in here yet, but I tell you what, that wild mushroom risotto recipe is definitely going in here because that is my favorite. This isn't your favorite foods. This is my favorite foods. As it says, shares favorite recipes.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I thought it would be fun to have this.
Yeah.
And I used, because I get the rewards. You when you buy something, you get rewards back. And so I used those rewards towards this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it became Happy Meal.
Yep.
And I customed not only what it says, but I customed the colors too. And hot pink, teal. Yep. Those are my colors.
Yep.
Well, and I like mint too, but I don't think I saw mint, but teal is close enough for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's it.
I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to
thumbs up.
You can subscribe if you haven't already.
Share with your friends. Family.
Yeah.
Get us more out there.
Yeah, we're trying to get out there and trying to get as many people. I've been sharing it with my art community as well, and there's a handful of people in there that have already subscribed to us. So, just go ahead and share it. Anyone you think might enjoy it, and
we'll see you next
month. So, bye for now.
Bye for now.